I'm joined now by Dan Osborn. Dan, you had run for the U.S. Senate in Nebraska in an explosive underdog campaign in this past election cycle against Deb Fischer that obviously caught the attention of the entire country here. You've just made an announcement with regard to a potential entrance into the 2026 race. Can you explain where you stand right now?
Yeah, we're launching an exploratory committee. We're going to see what the appetite is for our brand of politics in Nebraska. And, Pete Ricketts is certainly a formidable man with the ability to write his own checks, maybe $1 million a day if he wanted to.
Yeah.
So it's going to take some money. And I'm just looking to see if people have my backs on this one, because I think this is a really winnable race and a really unique time in history where I think we can pull this one off.
What do you make of the fact that the Republican senator is somebody who would be able to write himself, unlimited checks if he wants to, at a time where the Republican Party is really filled to the brim with people who are doing exactly that? And look, your campaign that you ran in this past election cycle was so people focused, so populist that even as an independent, you had come within a few percentage points of unseating an incumbent Republican senator in a state that doesn't normally see that kind of. Look, Nebraska is not exactly a battleground state, and so what do you make of that difference in the campaigns that you have run in the past, in terms of the focus, where your focus is, versus a Republican Party right now, a Republican incumbent who really has the ability to just look out for himself, write himself unlimited checks, and serve a donor class that very much is not populist.
Right. Nothing changes. Nothing changes for me. The fact that still remains that less than 2% of our elected officials in the House and Senate come from what would be considered the working class. Look, I did 200 over 200 public events, and I learned a lot from the people in Nebraska. And most people, they just want to know that if you work hard, and look, I got nothing against billionaires. I want to make that clear right off the bat. Everybody wants to be one. We all hope to be one
Yeah.
someday. And, if we do something right and get lucky, have a great idea, whatever that is. But people want to know if you work hard in this country, you're going to be able to get ahead. And right now, that's simply not the case. And, the billionaires that are in the ruling class are carving up the states and carving up the countries for themselves. They're blocking access to Social Security. 80,000 veterans are losing their jobs and not going to have the same health care. Like, this to me is why I'm starting the exploratory committee, why I want to get back into this. I want to continue the fight for working people. So nothing really changes.
Dan, you've obviously just launched this committee today, but in the time that you've been exploring the exploratory committee, have you spoken with Nebraskans and gotten a sense of where they stand as it relates to where the ruling class's focus is on thus far?
Sure, and I think it falls right in line with similar sentiments in Wisconsin. People are tired of this class of people coming in and buying
Yeah.
elections. I know the Ricketts family have spent tens of $1 millions influencing Nebraska politics, and I think it's time that we have fair elections. And putting tens of millions in dollars into elections isn't right. People are feeling that now more than ever, and people are definitely seeing it.
In light of what we're seeing right now with the stock market obviously in a free fall, with the economic outlook suggesting that a recession, if not something worse, may be on the horizon, with 401ks obviously taking a massive hit. How does that impact? How does that play into where you stand right now?
Well, it definitely affects me. Look, I get a paycheck on the 1st and the 15th. I know how much I'm getting, and I know how much I have to have go out. And I just had one of my kids have an emergency appendectomy. Now I have some unforeseen medical
Yeah.
expenses, and I'm starting to see everything go up. And I walk by the chicken and steak aisle and keep on going some weeks because it's just not in the cards for me. And that's what most Americans are dealing with. And folks like Pete Ricketts, they don't care if the local pool is getting shut down because they can't fund it because he's got one in his backyard. It's
Right.
That's the kind of people that are governing us, and I think our government needs to look a little bit more like us, as far as some working class people in there.
Do you have confidence that Ricketts and his colleagues in the Republican Party would put themselves on the line to protect Medicaid and food stamps and Social Security?
No, I absolutely do not.
What do you?
I don't
I
need to
mean,
expand any further than that.
no,
I have no
you,
confidence in that.
what do you say to voters in your state, a lot of whom look at their political affiliation as a major component of their own identity? And what you would be asking them to do is to vote for somebody who is not a Republican, and they might have voted Republican their whole life, and their parents may have voted Republican, and their grandparents may have voted Republican. It's a big step to ask somebody to shed a major component of their own identity. And so, what do you say to those folks right now?
Well, I would say, I get down on the people to their level, and as far as being a mechanic, working with my hands my whole life, and I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have to put Christmas on a credit card, and right now we're all struggling. I ran a strike at Kellogg's 3 years ago. Whether you believe in unions or not, the bottom line is, out on the picket line, there was no Republicans or Democrats. We're fighting for our livelihoods, and I feel like that's what we're having to do now. And I want to be a voice for the people who don't have a voice in the U.S. Senate.
What would you do differently if you do decide to go ahead with this campaign? What would you do differently from the past election cycle? Because there will be folks who look at this and say, look, you ran a race. Granted, it was in less than ideal circumstances, as the 2024 election was, but you already ran a race, and so you tried, you made the pitch to voters, and they chose Deb Fischer, and so why will this be different?
Well, it'll be different because I'm starting out in a different place, right? Like the 2024 race, I had zero name recognition. I came out of nowhere, and
Yeah.
we built everything from the ground level. We were, I like to use the term, we were building the plane as we were learning how to fly it. Well, now
Yeah.
we're flying it. So we're gonna start from a bigger position. We're gonna immediately open up field offices. Given if I do decide to do this endeavor, that's what we're going to do different. I learned a lot. I've never been involved politically too much before this. Just saw the government, not working for me, and we decided to do something about it. So we're definitely starting from a better place.
Dan, not that political affiliation really matters right now at a moment where so much is at stake, and really what the goal is to make sure that people are okay. Do you have any indication as whether, in terms of what you would run as? I know that last election cycle you ran as an independent.
Yeah, well, I've been a registered independent since I could register to vote, and I see no reason to have to change that. That's just kind of who I am. I get frustrated with the party politics.
Yeah.
Both sides seemingly catering to their extremes, but I think we should be operating within the 40-yard lines, not in the end zone. So,
Dan, if I know that people are going to be watching this, and they're going to see you as a force to be reckoned with in the state of Nebraska, and folks like you don't come around often, and they're going to want to help you make this exploratory committee into a reality, into an actual campaign. And so, what can we all do from our end to help make that a reality?
yeah, I hope so. Shoot, I don't even know if we have a website up and running yet, but I'm still working my 40 to 50 hours a week and doing this on top of it. But just throw me support. A couple bucks goes a long way. Look, we raised, I think it's about 14 million on our last campaign, and our average donation was $37. So if you're watching this and you think, 20, 30 bucks doesn't matter, it absolutely does.
Well,
That's what's going to get us coming out of the gate strong.
Well, I will make sure that I get your website, that I put it right here on the screen and also in the post description of this video. Highly recommend for anybody watching right now. Look, as I just mentioned, not a lot of people like Dan Osborn come around often, and so he presents a rare opportunity for for us to be competitive in a state where otherwise Republicans would have really entrenched their own rule, and where somebody like Pete Ricketts, who, to Dan's exact point, can self-fund this thing to the ends of the earth, as he looks to represent people who are a lot like him. This is an opportunity to be able to unseat somebody like that. And so if you want to show your support to Dan, again, you can just click the link on the screen or check out the link in the post description of this video. I appreciate you taking the time, and definitely looking forward to speaking with you again soon.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.